Okay, this will be take number 3. I'm new at this video thing, so obviously I'm having my little newbie problems. But I am going to get it done this time. I don't think I have any editing software, so I'm just going to have to do this in one take. And even though I've been trying, I'm going to try one more time, and we're going to get it done. Okay, hi, my name is Janice, known as Northern Stitcher on YouTube and also on Instagram. And I'm doing this video because, well, number one, I wanted to start Flosstube videos and say hi to everybody. Love watching everyone else's videos, and I just want to say hi back. When I joined the Soulful Sister Stitching crew, and that's a tongue twister, by the way, Melanie, but it's great. Anyway, because it's the year of WIPs challenge, and I want to get a lot of WIPs done. I've been stitching for 35 years, so yes, I have a lot of WIPs. I don't really call, or UFOs, I don't call them UFOs. I basically call them my abandoned projects, because I have a tendency to get so far, something, be it life or another project, enters my life, and I just will forget about it, you know, unless it's been something that I absolutely have to get done. Anyway, so I thought this would be a great idea, and I could get some of those out, because even though they're abandoned, they're not forgotten, and I'll be sitting here working on some other project, and I'll think about, oh, what about that one? That one, I really like that one. Why did I never finish it? And so this is a good way to get that done. Anyway, I live in Alaska. I was born here, so I've been here a long time. I did take a small jaunt out of the country and lived in Canada for 6 years, 6.5 years, something like that. When my husband got a job there back in the 70s, and we lived in Calgary, Alberta first, and then after being there for almost a year, we had been to British Columbia a few times, fell in love with it. It's a lot like Alaska as far as the way it looks and everything. And so he got a job in Golden, British Columbia, and I lived there. We lived there for 6 years. I had 2 children there, so they have dual citizenship. And then we moved to Fort McMurray in Alberta, which I know some of you remember hearing about in the news recently with the horrible bad forest fire, and it destroyed a lot of the town, and that was just devastating to me, because Fort McMurray area is beautiful. I mean, it's just beautiful. And the thought of all that forest being gone now, and half of the town, or however much, ended up being destroyed, it just breaks my heart. Anyway, and then after we were there for a little while, we're only there for about 6 months, we got really homesick and decided to come back to Alaska, and been back and here ever since, and had another daughter when we got back here. So anyway, I have 3 daughters. I also have I have raised my grandson. He's been living with me since he was about 12, and even before that he was pretty much at my house most of the time. So he's like my son. He is now going to be 21 next week, and he's just a wonderful young man, as my daughters are amazingly beautiful, wonderful women. Anyway, okay, so let's start off with my projects that I'm going to be finishing in this Year of WIP challenge. Some of them are really old. Like I said, I've been stitching for a long time. Some of them are pretty current, and some of them are, you know, kind of in between. So let's start out first. I started this one just this year in June, and it's called the Hat Collage. It's a kit by Janlin, and it is really, really cute, fun stitch. I really like colorful stitching. I just love it. And this is how far I've gotten on it. I have just gotten one little hat done and partially another, and I've kind of given up on it for other more important things. So I would really like to get this done because it is just really cute. And I love hanging cute things in my sewing room. Number 2 is called Deep Sea Fish. This is one I started just this August. I have a habit of, it's a dimensions kit. I have a habit of when I go on a trip, for some reason I want to start something new on the trip. I always do, and so this was what I started this time, and worked on it while I was out of town and a few days when I got back, but then I got busy with other stuff. This is how far I've gotten. So it is not very far along. Got a lot to do on that, but it would be fun to get this one finished too. Next one, I joined the Crazy 7, July Crazy 7, and I only got, I think, 3, maybe 4 days completed, and life got in the way. It was kind of crazy, but I started Girl with Apple. She is just so cute. I just really, really like her, and so I also want to have her in my room so I can look at her too. Anyway, so all I got done on that is, let's see, how did this go? Is part of her, let's see, I'm going to turn this till I see it like it's supposed to be. Okay, there we go. All I got done was part of the leaves in the upper left corner and a little part of her bandana there. And so she was just one day start, never touched her after that, so I'd like to do that. And what got in the way of that was my family is having quite a population explosion going on right now. These were being started in July, and in July, I mean, I knew there were a couple babies coming in my immediate family, my nieces and nephews, and that was great. We love new babies coming into the family. Well, it turns out there are six new babies coming right in my immediate family, and I was blown away. And I'm the aunt that, or grandma, that likes to make little crocheted baby Afghans, or if they're little girls, the crochet baby dresses and fun stuff like that, and bibs and all that. Well, all of a sudden it was like, oh, I can't do all this cross stitch. I've got, a baby shower now in 2 weeks, and I got to get this done. So that was given up. This is also another Crazy 7 July start that I started, spent one day on, and this is a little DMC kit. It's called the Dragonfly, and I was going to do this for my youngest daughter because she loves dragonflies, and when she was little she always called them helicopter bees. And so when I saw this and it was so colorful, and pink is her favorite color, I just thought, oh, okay, I'm going to do that. No, not like it's got to be done for Christmas or anything. It's just something I want to work on, and it's meant for her. One day of work for the Crazy 7, and I got this much done, just a corner of the background and not much else. So it's going to pretty much be finishing the whole thing, but that's all right. I want to get it done. We've got 15 months to get these done, and I'm really hoping that I can do that. My next one is kind of, I'm going to put 2 in this and count them as one because they're just so tiny, and I think it would be cheating if I actually called this one. This is one that was probably started 25 years ago, and I just got to a point, and I've got maybe 100 stitches left to put in, and it'll be done. And that is little deviled eggs. And all I have left to do on this is his eyes and the little white of the egg down there, and it'll be done. And so not much. And so it was like, yeah, it's a finish, I want to get it done, but I really can't call this one whole one because it's going to take me sitting down for a couple hours to get it done. So, oh, and it comes from this book by Cappy Incorporated. Yeah, but it's a book from 1987, so I'm sure that they're, it was like I saw it, fell in love with it, all the cute little designs. I've done a few of them, like I've done this wild rice right here, and a few more that I would like to stitch. And I just thought, you know, back in the 80s, I was young, and I just thought those would be so cute hanging in my kitchen. So anyway, finished that one, and what I want to add to it and count them to as one is something that I started also around the same time, maybe a few years later, and it is this, and it's supposed to say, of course I don't look as busy as the men. I did it right the first time. So, you know, being a woman in the workforce 25 years ago, I thought this would be fun to put on my office wall, and but then that's how far it got. I don't even have the pattern for it anymore that I can find. I've looked and looked and I can't find it, so I think I can just kind of figure out how to do it on my own. The next one is also one that's kind of iffy as a WIP of mine, because it's really a WIP of someone else's, and I wanted it really bad, and so I've been, you know, it's old, and so I was looking out of print. I was looking like crazy on eBay trying to find it, but you know, there were plenty out there to buy, but they were all like $60–70, you know, out for bid, and I just thought, oh no, I'm not going to pay that. I'll just wait. Finally, one came up, and it was only $20 or something like that, and so I said, okay, I'll do that. However, there was a little bit of thing, you know, however, this kit has been opened and a little bit of the cross stitch has been done, and I thought, well, I can live with that, so I'll get it. Like I said, it's the Bucilla kit, the doll hutch, and the little details in the dollhouse are so cute, and so I wanted to do that, and I actually built a couple doll houses. Sad story is they got destroyed when we were moving, and we moved into this one really small place. Was not room for this big dollhouse I had built. We had no like spare room or anything, and so it went out in the shed. Didn't know the shed was leaking. It leaked all over and ruined my dollhouse, and so that was a very sad day. So I figured, well, okay, I'm not going to build another dollhouse. It was fun, but just not in me to do that. So if I have a cross-stitch dollhouse, that'll be good. Okay, what was done was just this little part here. Now I figured I know it's not my WIP, but it is a WIP, and it would be a finish for me. So I'm hoping this counts, but I've got 14 on my list, so if it doesn't count, then I'll be fine. My next one is, my daughter got married about 6 weeks ago, and I did a wedding sampler for her. Got it finished, all backstitch, ready to go, just not framed. If you want to see a picture of it, it is, I do have it here, but I don't want to dig it out right now. It's on my Instagram page, Northern Stitcher. There's a picture of it. There's also a picture of us at the wedding. Anyway, so I decided after doing it that this possibly might not be the colors that she would want in her house. It's colors I love, but wasn't sure. She's got different tastes than I do. And so I thought, well, okay, let me make another one. And I know she would love this one. And this is a Stony Creek heirloom wedding sampler, white on white, and it's like, yeah, this is something that she would really like and appreciate much more. So I decided, okay, I'm going to do another one. I'm going to offer to give her both, and if she wants to just keep one and then hang one up, I'm for sure this is one she'll want to hang. So I want to finish that, and I just started this a couple days before her wedding, so it obviously needs to be finished this coming year. Now this is very white on white. I'm using the colors that it called for, you know, the exact fabric and the pearl cotton. I think it was pearl cotton 5 or 8, can't remember which. But so hopefully you can see the stitching on it. It's just very, very, you know, white on white, but it's really pretty. It's really fast to stitch, easy to stitch, and I think it'll be great. So I really want to get this one finished also. So hopefully with the fabric in front of me, kind of hard to see if you're seeing what you should or not. But anyway, that's that one. Next one is basically kind of a sad story. I started this about 15 years ago, probably. I'm going to show it to you in sections because the story, probably a lot of us have been here, and it's a sad story. And this story starts here. I came to the end, and I still have about 10 stitches to go. And obviously, I'm going to run into the end. I may have 2 or 3 threads left at the end, but not work. Well, what happened was I started in the middle of the project. And I'm going to pan over slowly so you can see. Here, a sec. See what happened. It's like I started working on it. Actually started from this end here. Started in the middle. Let's say that. I started in the middle. And then I went to the right of the project, which is going this way, and I did all this first. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, no problem. Everything's working fine. It's, you know, I'm loving it. It's fun. It's colorful. It's cute. And oh, lots of fabric there at the edge. Well, duh, I should have started, you know, about here. You know, I should have started about 30 stitches over, because then when I started, you know, back and started working this way, I get to the part where the pattern is there with the little girl on the pattern and realized, oh crap, what am I going to do now? So my thoughts are, I will adjust the pattern and make it end here pretty quick, and just hopefully I can make it so that it looks like that's all it was meant to be, or I can add a piece of fabric towards the end there and stitch all the way to the edge of the fabric, and then just have it a, you know, edge to edge thing. But either way, I want to finish it so that it's done, because it's too much work and I like it too much to not do it. But I abandoned it because I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And so, of course, what do you do when you're frustrated and you abandon a project? You start another one. And so that's what I did, and that's why it's been kind of just sitting there for 15 years. The next one is one that I started about 4 years ago, and just liked it, ordered it, started working on it, and it is almost done. I only have about, I don't know, maybe a good week's worth of work, maybe like one day and then a couple evenings after work. But it's called, I think it's called Seaside Cottages. I don't have the paperwork with me right now because I can't find it, but I'll find it before I finish it. All I have left to do is some sky and some sand, and then it will be completely done. I think all the back stitching is done. There may be some back stitching left to do in some of the trees, but I'm not sure. My grandson loves this one. He told me when I was stitching it, Grandma, I have that one, I want that one. So I'm going to finish it up for him. The next one I started about 6 or 7 years ago. My mom passed away in January. She was 92 years old, and I used to spend, of course, a lot of time. We live really close together, just a block apart, a lot of time with her. My dad passed away 10 years ago, and so she lived alone, you know, for, you know, a long time after he passed away. And so I was a constant companion down there a lot. And obviously, of course, during the last few years of her life, we were there 24 hours a day, me or my brothers, taking care of her. But anyway, I started working on this. I would stitch when I was with her, and I started working on these teapots, and they're from Cross My Heart Incorporated, and they're just so cute. And I have a china cabinet full of teacups and teapots, and I wanted these four to be in the china cabinet with the actual cups and pots, and so I started working on this. However, the first one that I started working on, it was just so frustrating, and this is how far I got on it, and that center part, and it was just, the counting was all off, and it was just driving me crazy, and I was just getting so frustrated that I basically abandoned it and thought, I don't know if I'll ever do this. I really love those teapots, but I don't know if I'll ever get them done. Well, then I discovered gridding last year, and through Flosstube. And I thought, well, okay, let me try that. So I took out one and started a new one. And this is the one I started working on. Get a thread off there. I started working on with it gridded, and it went so easy and so well that I couldn't believe it. And it got it finished within a month. You know, being down there evenings and on the weekend. And so that was really great. So then I went on to the second one, got it done, and it also took about a month, and loved it. So I figured, okay, I'm going to get in there, finish this one. I'm going to go in, and I think I can grid it after the fact, and then finish that fourth one also, and then this will be a finish. Next one on my year of WIPs is one that I don't have the picture for, but I'm not going to need it because we all know what this is. This was, and she is actually my one of my favorite projects. She actually helped me. My mom passed away in January. I started her in February, and she kept me quite occupied and focused, and really helped me, you know, in the greasing process. And she is the spring Celtic lady, and I pretty much have all of the cross stitch done except for the one column down here. I've got to finish, you know, the that cross stitching, and then I've got to put in a lot of the treasure braid on her skirt. And once I get that done, I can go on to the beading, and she will be done. So I imagine once I focus on her for a month or you know, so I can get her done, and then I will be so happy. I plan to do all four of them, and so then I plan to kind of have one going at all times. And so I think the next one, once I get her finished, will be, I really like the winter one. I think she's beautiful, and since I live in Alaska where there's lots of winter, I think that would be great. This one was started at least 20 years ago, and it was obviously going to be a gift. Now I don't remember who it was for or what. I mean, it was obviously a gift because it's a wedding sampler. Wedding sampler by Needle Treasures, name of it's called A Special Couple, and I got most of this done. I think I abandoned it either because it was going to be way past due anyway, so I had to get him a different wedding gift anyway. But it's one that is so close to being able to be called a finish that all I have left to do is some tree stuff here, some more water, and some back stitching, and a little bit of sparsely you know. But this thing was like confetti crazy with the greens and drove me confetti crazy myself. And yes, it has been in this hoop for over 20 years. So I guess it's going to have a crease around it. What do you think? Yeah, it will. But that's all right. We'll deal with it. But anyway, I would even if I finish it and just hang it on my wall as something done, that will be fine. Otherwise, I can finish it and have a gift, a wedding sampler for someone as a gift. Okay, next one is one that was also one of the Crazy 7 starts. This was one I did because when I saw it, I just saw my mother, and I was like, I had to do this. So I did start this as a Crazy 7 start, and this is called Feasting Frenzy. And I know one of the other Year of WIP challengers is doing that. Rose City Stitcher, maybe? She's also doing this, working on this. And the story behind this is, like I said, it reminded me of my mother, because my mother would sit by her window, especially in the last 10 years, in her recliner chair, and she would sit there and she would look out her window and see all the birds. And she had trees close to her windows, and so the birds would come and she would just, she loved it. It was like the best part of her day was to watch the birds. She even had a little bird identifier book, and she would identify birds, and it just made her really happy. And so when I saw this, it was like, oh, how happy she would have been if all of those birds would have come to her tree. Anyway, this is how far I am, and I have been kind of working on this a little bit continually. It's just to keep working on it. It's like I work on it, and as I work on it, I think of my mother almost the whole time. So it's kind of a very comforting thing for me to work on, and once it's completed, I think it'll be beautiful. So that's that. My last one is one also that I guess it's legal. It's a WIP, but it's not my WIP. It's my inherited WIP. My mother was a cross stitcher, and she did all kinds of needlework. She did embroidery, she did crewel embroidery, she did all kinds of beautiful stuff. And one of these days I'm going to get everything together and do a little Flosstube on my mother's stuff. When she passed away, and I'm the only daughter, so I made sure that I got, you know, all of her stash. Didn't realize there was as much as there was, because there was some in plastic bins in closets and stuff like that. But as I was going through it, I found quite a few things. This is one I knew about, and as a good stitcher, as we all are, she never got rid of any of her stash. She would just, it was there for someone like me to come along and rescue it and finish the things I wanted to finish, and keep her memories alive that way. And so anyway, one of the things that she used to do, was she stitched big Christmas pieces for all of her children, me and my 3 brothers, and they all, you know, were Christmas themed. And then she was starting to do for my 3 daughters, and they picked out what they wanted her to do. She let us all pick out what we wanted, and then she stitched it. And this is when she started for one of my daughters, but when she got to be close to 80, her eyesight was not as good anymore, and her hands were a little bit, you know, shaky. So she did not finish working on this. So this is what she was working on. And it is not finished, but it will be. I'm going to finish it for my daughter, and then I'm going to finish the other 2 ones that she was going to do for my other 2 daughters too. And then of course for my grandson, I'll let him pick out a big Christmas piece, and she'll do this. So, you know, she's about a third of the way done. Let me show you the picture. It's from Christmas Portraits by Leisure Arts, one of these books. I inherited all of her cross-stitch books too, and she had the complete set of all the Christmas books from Leisure Arts for however many years it was that they came out. I'm just trying to find the picture. I know it's here real. Did have it. And then what happened to it? Where did it go? Thought I had it all saved so I could just go right to it, and of course I do. But there it is. Okay, this is what Santa and a sleigh ride on Christmas Eve will look like when I get it finished. So this is also one I would like to finish this year and get started on the other two. Okay, that is it. That is plenty, I think, for me to take on, because obviously I want to do a couple starts. I've got some things that I am anxious to start working on, some other things that are WIPs and they're just not in this group of stuff. And there's also a couple that I couldn't find that I wanted to work on, of really old ones. But believe me, I have plenty to do. So I want to just say, it's hard to end the video, but I guess I'm just going to say, all right, I'll see you on the next one. And I am hoping to be able to start progressing things and do more videos. And I'm going to put this up on Flosstube, and looking forward to everyone else's videos and progress throughout the next 15 months. So I'll talk to you later.